So what is going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Now, whilst I was making one of my videos the other day, talking about, the usual stuff, Call of Duty, its problems, where it's going in the future, I started thinking about what we could have had, because we've had loads of different iterations of third game modes in COD throughout our life. We've had Extinction. Besides from Treyarch Zombies, we've had zombies from Sledgehammer and Infinite Warfare. We've had loads of different time periods: the past, the present, the near future, the far future. You could even say unrealistic times, like the aliens in Extinction. I mean, that's if we want to count zombies as being realistic. The other third mode that we've had is Spec Ops in the Modern Warfare series, and apparently this year in Modern Warfare 2 we are getting some kind of escape from Tarkov mode. We don't know too much about it yet. The best out of the bunch, I would say, is Zombies. Maybe I'm biased, but one that I really did like and kind of wish that we got more of was Extinction. We had it in Call of Duty Ghosts, which, funnily enough, that game also we never had a sequel to. A lot of people want a Ghost 2. I thought the campaign was good. The multiplayer at the time, I just couldn't gel with. But Extinction was a weird one because there was just something about it that I liked. I didn't fall in love with it like Zombies. I couldn't play it 24/7. I think because of the way it was structured, it was more like completing missions, whereas Zombies is just high rounds, so you can go for as long as you want. But for the first few maps, I really enjoyed it. Towards the end of the game, that kind of faded out. I think because of the way it worked, it did get a little bit tiring. But after it finished, I always kind of hoped in the back of my mind that somewhere in the distant future, we'd see an Extinction 2. It's something I'd definitely be up for, but we never got. After that, we had Infinite Warfare Zombies, and then in Modern Warfare, Infinity Ward's next game, we had Spec Ops, and in Modern Warfare 2, well, we definitely aren't getting any of them. So, no Zombies, no Extinction. It's just kind of sad. Just before we carry on though, I do want to say that today's video is sponsored by War and Peace Civil War Clash. The Civil War was one of the most famous battles in world history, and now you can be the hero by demonstrating your power on the battlefield with War and Peace Civil War Clash. Build your military base building, develop war tactics, and command your army to fight in the battles set on battle maps based on historical battles. You'll be fighting in the American Civil War, and you can either side with the Union and Abraham Lincoln, or join the Confederacy with Jefferson Davis. And of course there are also PvP battles, so you can equip your army with Civil War military weapons and artillery, and fight against other players. I've been playing for a while now. It's a great game. If you want to go ahead and get it for yourself, you can go ahead and play by downloading War and Peace Civil War right now by using the link in the description below. So there we go, check it out, and let's continue on with today's video. So there was a bunch of tweets that we got from Lee Ross over on Twitter. He was the main developer of Infinite Warfare Zombies. He doesn't work at Infinity Ward anymore, so now and again he kind of comes out and says some stuff that if he was still working there, he probably wouldn't, but to us, it's really interesting. Anyway, in a tweet that we got from him a few weeks ago when he was speaking about the Super Easter egg, pretty much throwing shade at Treyarch Super Easter egg and Black Ops Cold War. I've shown you his original tweet before, but I'll just quickly go over it again. He said, like I said before, Infinite Warfare Zombies is the best Super Easter egg the franchise has ever seen. It took a ton of hard work and was risky, but we were committed. When you have highly passionate and talented people working together, very special things happen. And then another Infinity Ward developer replied to Lee Ross by saying, we made Spaceland a space theme park in part to troll the campaign because it went into space with lightspeed warp drives and such. So partly one of the reasons why the Infinity Ward developers made the first Zombies map on that game in Spaceland was to troll the campaign. By the way, quick side note, if you haven't played it, the Infinite Warfare campaign is pretty good. It's definitely worth checking out. But Lee then replied back to Brian by saying, I remember doing interviews and I kept getting the question about boost jumps versus boots on the ground, and I'd always respond, Zombies in Spaceland is a boots on the ground experience. Brian then replied back with, yeah, boots on the ground, but with Godzilla and King Kong. But this is where it gets interesting for me, because someone called Yusako during the conversation and said, Brian, did you ever work on the COD collabs like Predator or Michael Myers? And Brian said back, no, we were making Extinction during Ghosts, and after with DLC episodes. Lee Ross then replied to this saying, Extinction 2 would have been amazing. That prototype we built had so much promise. Someone else then said there was a prototype for an Extinction sequel. And finally Brian replied, yeah, the video is cool. Base building baby. A little RTS mechanics in the mix. To be fair, if we made Extinction 2, there would not have been Infinite Warfare Zombies. The studio was nervous about taking COD into space, and we didn't want aliens in it, even though the cryptids were not aliens. So this confirms that originally, probably in the very early days of Infinite Warfare, that game was going to have Extinction 2, not Zombies. And from what I can tell, one of the main reasons why it didn't happen was simply because the game already took place in space. That was already a big risk that they were taking. They didn't want aliens in the game as well, but I'm guessing the main decision probably would have come from Activision, maybe some of the Infinity Ward developers as well, that they just didn't want Extinction 2 or aliens in Infinite Warfare because the game as a whole was already taking place in space. They weren't too sure if people were going to like that, so adding Extinction 2 to it as well perhaps would have been a little bit too much. And as he also says, this is probably a good thing anyway, because if we had Extinction 2, then we wouldn't have had Infinite Warfare Zombies, and I think Infinite Warfare Zombies is a lot better than Extinction. Not to say Extinction is bad. As I said at the beginning, I would have liked to have seen a sequel. Lee Ross here kind of hypes it up. He says Extinction 2 would have been amazing. The prototype that they built had a lot of promise, but it just seems it was too much for the game that they were developing. Perhaps if that game at the time was Modern Warfare, then we would have seen Extinction 2, because it would have been a lot safer of a move for them to make. Instead, we had zombies, and honestly, I can't complain. Let me know in the comment section below, would you have preferred Extinction 2, or are you glad that we actually got Infinite Warfare Zombies instead of it? And whilst I'm still on this topic, this kind of reminds me of some concept art that we got from one of the developers a while ago. This was back in 2020, for a zombies mode in Modern Warfare, for Modern Warfare 2019. This was from Aaron Beck over on Instagram. He posted this picture and he said, "Zombie Walker finally got clearance to share more art from Modern Warfare. So to begin, here's an unused concept from early in production. I was thinking it would be fun to play with the classic Call of Duty Zombies gameplay, hinting here at some sort of Russian Special Force soldiers and his duo of quadruple robots, holding captive zombified soldiers by leashes around their necks." So what we have here is one of the Infinity Ward developers showing us concept art of a zombies mode that he made for Modern Warfare back in 2019. Obviously we never had anything like this, we had Spec Ops, but just taking a look at these pictures, it looks awesome, and thinking about it, I wouldn't say we've ever had a zombies mode like this. Treyarch Zombies is drastically different because it's more cartoony, it's more unrealistic. Again, Zombies isn't realistic anyway, but if you want to compare the two, Treyarch Zombies has aliens, we have the Elder Gods, Apothicons and stuff like that. Zombies in Modern Warfare, I think they could make it very realistic, and that's what this kind of looks like. I mean, the idea by itself sounds really cool, a lot different to Infinite Warfare Zombies or Treyarch Zombies, which are more fantasy, whereas this one could have been realistic. However, we never got it, and just because we have concept art of it from one of the developers, that isn't to say that it was ever in contention or was ever being made, because not long after this was posted, Aaron sent a message to, I think this was Glitching Queen, where he said, "Hey, thanks for getting in touch. Unfortunately, that one design is all I have with regards to zombies related concept art for Modern Warfare. I was just having fun with the idea for potential interesting gameplay combining with zombie elements with military robots. It's not an official concept for any game mode we were working on. Just a fun idea." So that does confirm that Zombies was never really in contention to be in Modern Warfare 2019. It was just an idea from one of the developers. He was just messing around making some art, but it looks cool and it makes me kind of wish that we did have that, because Spec Ops isn't something I play. Anyway, there we go, that is it. That's all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and of course I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.